Similarly, dawah is more important because a person, he's committing shirk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that He will never forgive the sin of shirk. But both are important. When you meet a Muslim, you do islah, and when you meet a non-Muslim, you do dawah. If the doctor has time, he will treat both, the patient with heart attack and the patient with common cold. Therefore, both are equally important. Many of the Muslims, they tell that whenever they meet the non-Muslims tell them that you mind your own business. It is the duty of every Muslim to mind other people's business as far as dawah is concerned. For example, if you are going along with your family and you have 3 children and your son Ahmad, who's 4 years old, he slips away while you are with your family and he reaches towards the end of the cliff and you realize that your son is too far. You shout, Ahmad! But he cannot hear you. And there you see an elderly gentleman who's admiring the beauty. You shout, Hey bhai sahab, save my son! But your voice cannot reach. Your son is approaching closer to the cliff. And later on, the elderly gentleman, he looks at his son, he smiles at him and continues admiring the beauty. Your son, he approaches the cliff. He takes the next step and he falls off and dies. Now, you will go to the elderly gentleman. You will tell him that, why didn't you save my son? All you had to do is stretch out your hand and my son's life would have been saved. But he will tell, I was minding my own business. Yet you will blame him. You will tell, my son, he was a masoom. He was innocent. All you had to do is stretch out your hand and my son's life would have been saved. Similarly, these non-Muslims on the day of judgment, they will catch us Muslims and they will tell us, why didn't you convey the message? Why didn't you deliver the message of Islam to us? And these non-Muslims, they will catch us Muslims. So therefore, we Muslims, we need to convey the message of Islam to the non-Muslims. And if your neighbor is there, and if you not convey the message of Islam to your neighbor, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on the day of judgment, He will question your neighbor that, why didn't you follow me? Why didn't you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the neighbor will tell, no one conveyed the message to me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell him that I directly delivered to you the message. And he will go to hellfire. Next will come your turn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you, did you deliver the message to your neighbor? And if you say no, then you will follow him in hellfire. Therefore, dawah is very important.